Hi everyone, I'm Janet Hawk, Director of Friends of the Shelter, and I want to welcome you to tonight's PupArt event. It's our 8th annual event and our first ever virtual PupArt. We're really sorry we won't be able to see you this year at the beautiful McConnell Center, but we're so happy you're joining us online for this virtual event. Friends of the Shelter is an all-volunteer nonprofit that funds the medical care for sick dogs at the Franklin County Dog Shelter. Each year, that medical care can cost upwards of $200,000. And it covers the cost of things like orthopedic surgeries at MedVet. It can cover cardiology and ophthalmology consults, internal medicine consults for diseases like diabetes, and it covers the care of illnesses like parvovirus and heartworm. Just about anything you can imagine, Friends of the Shelter is covered for a dog that's come into the Franklin County Dog Shelter. So for example, if a dog gets hit by a car and comes into the shelter as a stray, we'll fund the medical care for that dog to go to MedVet and have orthopedic surgery to be able to then be adopted into a loving forever home. So tonight we're excited to be kicking off our largest annual fundraiser, PupArt. The auction begins tonight at 7:30 and it lasts until Saturday night, August 15th at 9 o'clock. And so you'll have plenty of time to bid, and to bid early and often so you can help us save the shelter dogs. I have a few of the items with me here tonight so that you can see them. So now we'd like to show you a dog, Paisley, who arrived at the Franklin County Dog Shelter earlier this year. She was emaciated and she was covered in mats, and you won't even believe the transformation that you'll see. She was fostered by an amazing foster mom, Keegan, and then adopted by a loving forever mom, Becky. And Becky's going to tell you Paisley's story.
Hello there, I'm Becky Hinga, and this is Paisley Hinga. She just officially was adopted into our family yesterday, but she has been in our home as a foster to adopt for a little over 2 weeks. I saw Paisley's story because I am on the email list for Friends of the Shelter. The emails that I got showed the story of Paisley coming into the shelter late April, and the abysmal condition that she was in. I couldn't even imagine that someone would know she was a live animal when they found her. She came in, was then shaved so that they could actually do an assessment and saw how emaciated she was. And the care of the doctors here at the shelter, I believe MedVet was also involved in her care, as long as a great foster mother who took care of her and put weight back on her. Supporting PupArt is probably one of the easiest and best ways to support Friends of the Shelter. To my knowledge, it's the biggest fundraiser that Friends of the Shelter have annually. Like so many nonprofits, a lot of these fundraisers have had to be canceled or presented in a different way. And so many people are in tough ways right now too because of COVID, that they're not able to care for their animals. Animals are being found and injured, and money is needed desperately by these nonprofits, especially Friends of the Shelter, who help the dogs that come into the shelter provide medical care for them.
So while we all know that the pandemic has made this a very difficult year for all charities, including Friends of the Shelter, it hasn't stopped the need. So now we're going to move to Cheryl Mandel, who's one of our trustees and the heart and soul of PupArt, so she can talk to us about the generous artists and sponsors who have made this evening possible.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Mandel, and I'm here representing Friends of the Shelter. Representing all the dogs that have no place to go, well, except for Max, who has somewhere to go, obviously, and when they're sick and injured, need off-site care. So I want to thank you for helping all those dogs by attending our virtual PupArt event 2020. Listed here are the dogs that we have in so far that are visiting with me as I come along to thank all the businesses that took it upon themselves during this time of trouble to be helpful to us, to donate to us, and to be generous. I also then want to thank the sponsors, who again believe in what we do and believe in our cause. Without them, we just couldn't have done this event. I want to thank all the volunteers that help get all kinds of art, and so this can be a way enjoyable time for you to spend your home time and your pandemic time and your money, please. I want to thank the artists from the bottom of my heart for your generosity and your giving, because truly without all of this art, and there are so many pieces, this would not be a possibility this year. With your generosity and your artistic ability and heart, we are able to save Franklin County Dog Shelter dogs. So from the bottom of Friends of the Shelter's heart and my soul, thank you.
Archie was, they thought he had a eating disorder when we first saw him. He had multiple ultrasounds and he came in a matted mess, and it turns out that he didn't have an eating disorder. He was just starved, but those tests helped us identify what the issue was. He right away was so loving, so kind. He came up, was giving kisses. He's an awesome dog. I saw him on the Facebook profile while looking at another dog, and I just immediately was just like, I need him. He's the one for me. When we first got Artie, he weighed, I want to say around 21 pounds, 20 pounds. He was very skinny. We couldn't take him for long walks. He would lose energy very fast. He didn't really want to move. He just wanted to lay there. And we started feeding him, and he started to feel better, and you could see in his eyes that he wanted to play with our dogs, and he started to feel better, and he started playing, and he's got an amazing change. He's gained about 9 pounds, and he's already looking better and feeling better. He's amazing.
So Helix here had surgery on both of his knees back in February at MedVet. That surgery was funded by FOTS. When he came into the shelter in January, he couldn't really walk so well. He had lateral luxating patellas, and he was just really uncomfortable and painful. So the surgery kind of helped him be able to walk like a normal dog, and you couldn't tell now that he had surgery on his knees. He runs around like a crazy guy. There's no stopping him from doing anything. Thanks to FOTS, Helix got a second chance. He was really fearful here at the shelter also, so I was able to take him home as a foster and watch him grow into being a pretty good dog. And he is fully healed from his surgery now.
If you could describe Friends of the Shelter in one word, what would it be?
I would describe it as a second chance for dogs that may not get a good chance here without their funds. We don't always have the ability to help the dogs that come in here with their medical problems. So with FOTS funding, we're able to send them out and get them the help that they deserve.
So now we want to introduce you to Tommy and Miley, two Friends of the Shelter dogs that both had heartworm. And their amazing foster mom, Megan, is going to tell you their story. Friends of the Shelter, especially as a volunteer here at the shelter, does incredible work. Without them, you know, they're giving these dogs a second chance of life that are coming in through the shelter in need of major medical care. So really, you know, they're just giving these dogs the best chance they can get to get out and get adopted into the community. And then they also brought me Tommy into my life, which I never thought I'd have a small dog. So I'm extremely grateful for that. And now Miley too. Miley right here, I just started fostering her about 2 weeks ago, and she was diagnosed with heartworm. She also was overbred, and she had some mammary tumor and some mast cell tumor. So Friends of the Shelter funded all of that treatment. She ended up having a mammary chain removal, the mast cells removed, and then we started our heartworm treatment. So I volunteered to foster her and nurture her through the heartworm treatment, so she'd be in a safe, calm environment out of the shelter where it's so stressful, and I can keep a good eye on her and make sure the treatment goes smoothly. And Tommy also had heartworm, and he was my first foster for FOTS. And we took him through the heartworm treatment as well. So now he is just there for his sister to, you know, show her the ropes, provide her support, keep her calm as she goes through it too. You know, the local rescue communities can't always just step up and fund that much funding, so it's nice to be able to have that support through Friends of the Shelter, and PupArt is a major contributing factor to all that money that's provided. So thank you all for being here tonight. We want you to go bid early and often at friendsoftheshelter.cbo.io. And Peanut is going to take us out tonight.
I know you love your cookies. Come here. Show everyone you walking after your surgery. Come on. Good boy. I know. You're such a cutie. I know you love your cookies. What do you think? What do you think, Peanut? You're a funny guy.